quite a statement last night when I walked into the locker room. It didn't sound like the guys thought they needed to make a statement. It felt like they thought that, they already had confidence in themselves.
Yeah, that's right. Clippers did not need us to validate, or beating us to validate that they're a good basketball team. And we didn't need to beat them to validate that we're one. Two teams that's going to be around. It's in early January battling each other. So it was, to us, it was another basketball game, another opportunity to get better.
Do you see a nice rivalry developing between these two teams?
Quite honestly, I laugh when people say, let's not mention us two, but two teams that are rivalries, but neither one of them did anything yet. When you think about rivalries, you're thinking, Yankees, Red Sox. You're thinking teams that did something and have history of battling each other when it mattered most. We're just two teams, quite honestly, that's trying to change our recent history and build something from this day forward. Now, where it goes from there, I think it can be exciting, and I think we both have staying power, but neither one of us have done anything yet.
I thought you guys made quite a statement last night, and then I walked in the locker room, and it sounded like you guys didn't feel like you had to, that you guys kind of already had confidence that you were playing that well.
Yeah, I think the word is confidence. It's definitely not cockiness. We know that we still have a long way to go as a team, and we know that we respect each opponent. Not to mention going back to their place on Saturday, we know it's going to be a dogfight again, and they're going to be ready and make adjustments. But I think Kenny Smith said it after the game too. Is I think that our team has an identity, and we know that we need to pay attention to scouting report defensively. Our coaches do a great job of that. We need to rebound the ball. We just need to share the ball offensively. We do those things, we know that we're at least going to have a chance to win. So that's where our confidence comes from, is kind of knowing what we need to do going into each game.
Coach was saying yesterday that one thing he started doing this year that he didn't do last year is putting the standings up in the locker room during practice. I mean, what does that do for you guys as players, just being aware of where you guys are and what?
I guess that depends on where we are in the standings, right? If it would have been last year, we would have hurt our necks having to look down at the standings. But this year it's good to know. Where we stand, and it also lets us know that we still have a lot of work to do, and there's still a lot of games left, because you see teams go up and down in the standings, and let you know how fragile each game is, and how important it is to mentally and physically show up to each game ready to go.
Do you see a little rivalry developing here between you guys and the Clippers?
I think just because we're both California teams, and a lot of people in Northern California aren't thrilled with LA teams, and maybe vice versa. But no, I mean we haven't accomplished anything yet. We haven't made the playoffs yet. You start talking about that when you like Memphis and the Clippers, where they have a tough playoff series against each other, and it carries over into the next year. Until we reach that next point where we're a consistent playoff team. I think you could say that it's a good matchup between the two teams, and it's fun to watch. But until we can accomplish something more as a team, I don't think you can call it too much of a rivalry yet.
When you were talking yesterday that you had a standing put up here, guys, well, I was just curious, we were thinking about it later. Is it division standings, conference standings, or the whole league?
Conference. So it's each conference, 1 through whatever, and Western Conference and Eastern Conference. Didn't break up the division. I think at the end of the day, it's the top 8 seeds getting in.
You had said that all the good teams you ever played on had. When was the first time you?
Oh, I thought you was going to say what good teams did I play on.
I mean, what coach did you start with?
I really don't remember. I don't even know if it was a coach. It could have been, the leaders of the team saying this is what we want to do to recognize where we're at and what we need to do to get better. But I just remember the good teams I played on, we knew exactly where we were at and what we needed to do, and how tight the race is, whether you're number 1 seed or number 8 seed.
As a player, when you walk in and you do see like a change in the standings, or how does that affect your motivation or your mindset?
It doesn't really affected because it changes every single day. But what it does, it makes you aware, and you begin to recognize, okay, who do I want to win tonight, or who do I want to lose, or this game tonight makes a difference in who we're playing against, and so you just become more conscious of what's going on, and it's important. We had a time where somebody didn't know there was 30 teams in the league, so we've come a long way.
When Coach Jackson was a broadcaster, he had said the year he made an all-star team, I didn't deserve to be an all-star team because we're on a losing team. I'm just curious, do you remember hearing that from him, or have you spoken to him about
I think
that?
it was him and Van Gundy went on a tangent about that. And that year I was a sub for Allen Iverson, who sat out because of family reasons. I've always agreed with that point. I mean, I guess it was I think it might have been you, Mark, asked me last year if I deserved to be an all-star, and I said, numbers-wise, I guess, but I said I don't think I deserve it because our team isn't where our team needs to be. And LaMarcus Aldridge last year led his team much better than I did, and their team had a really good record going into All-Star break, and deservingly he made the All-Star game. So I think that's the biggest mark of an All-Star is guys that can make their team better and try to win, because they didn't sign me here to put up numbers or to have fancy dunks. They signed us to win ball games, and myself and Steph are working to make sure that that continues to happen.
Have you talked about that since then, or since you've come here, or he's come here?
No, I haven't. We have a lot more to talk about than what he said as an announcer. He always gave me a fair shot as an announcer, so I never had too much of a grudge against him.
He's been trumpeting you and Steph for the All-Star game, and started talking about Jared for the sixth man last night. When are you guys going to start talking about him for Coach of the Year?
See, you keep talking about all this individual stuff. Look, I think I'm going to say what I've said before. I think the biggest promotion for all of us is that we're winning games, and if we keep doing that, then the country's going to notice, and everybody's going to notice. And as far as the All-Star, keep our fingers crossed that happens. But it's not going to be because of the stats. It's going to be because it's going to be the stats in addition to the fact we're winning games. Winning's the most important thing right now, and whether it's Jarrett getting the six-man award, Coach going into the Coaching Hall of Fame at the end of the season, whatever it may be, it's going to be because we've turned this thing around. We've turned the culture around. We've turned the wins and losses around, and we just need to keep it that way.